me?
Hello.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's not very clear. Like your voice is breaking.
Yeah.
I think perhaps you can log out and log in. Am I audible to you clearly?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah,
It
that
is
seems like that
breaking, but I can
sort of small glitch in your connection. So if you can just log out and log in again, perhaps it might be okay.
Okay. Okay. Give me. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I will just can you hear me now?
Here the problem is there, Chirag.
Uh,
Is it the same from the next research team side? You all also, I mean, getting brokenly? I think Natasha is there, no?
Yes, sir, the line is
I think
clear,
I'm having
Raj.
some.
For Chirag, do you all hear him clearly?
Okay, can you hear? Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, okay. Now go
Can
ahead,
you hear
Chirag.
me now?
Yeah, now it's clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a few questions.
Hmm.
Um,
If you don't mind, can you share the document?
is it okay?
is it okay? Transcription. Hello.
Until I think Chirag get his technical things done, can we move on to Najili? Because Chirag, still your voice is not clear. Either echoing or it's breaking. Perhaps you might disconnect your audio device and connect it again. I don't know whether the Sri Lankan team, like the next research team, do you all get him clearly? For me, it's very unclear. Natasha, okay. Nadili, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. If you don't mind, kindly share the document so that we can see the progress.
Yes. Actually, unfortunately, I'm on the mobile and I'm at work. So, yes, I don't have the document with me at the moment.
Okay, start off with your topic.
My topic is effect of shift pattern on personal well-being. And last time we discussed, you suggested that I should focus on increasing the employee not the effectivity, but
there are many aspects. look at actually. So, like,
Yes.
what is your progress right now? After discussing it with your colleagues, like, what is the way that you can progress forward? Because it all depends on your access to data. So, in which line you have access to data? Is it going to be entirely on maintenance technicians, or are you going to look at the duty engineers, or are you going to look at the entire group? And in that group, which aspect you are going to look at? Is it about shift scheduling, or is it about work task allocation? There are a lot of things like we discussed. So, what is the area you're going to look at? Because if you try to focus on the entire thing, it will be a little bit too big for an individual person.
Yes. So I was talking about the shift patterns and like because here in Etihad we have a morning shift, then a swing shift, and a night shift. 4 days each cycle,
Go on
and
for
4 on 4 off. And the main problem, the common problem I find is that because one shift is from morning 5 to evening 5, then the next shift is from evening 4 to next morning 4, and the last one is evening 7 to morning 7. So basically, like 12 days straight, you are basically doing a night shift. You'll be up at night. So that's
so is
and
there relievement for this night shift?
sorry,
Is there a relievement for the night shift? For example, if you do a night shift, will you get at least a day off?
you do 4 night shifts at a stretch, and then you get 4 offs.
Okay. That's quite difficult, huh?
Yes, that is very actually health concerning. But
This is the time.
the
You
when
don't
I
get
discuss,
any
sorry,
sleep. That means you don't get any sleep.
yes, basically it's very hard to since it is shifting between morning and night shifts. It's very hard to adjust your body clock um, as per that change. So there are a lot of health concerns. But when I talk about this topic, I found some people prefer it over having 2 days, 2 nights, or 4 offs, or just basically 2 days, 2 offs, because that gives them a sort of a long holiday or a off, so that allows them to travel. Or so I find it I'm finding it a bit difficult again to approach my goal in proving that this is not health wise it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then my suggestion would be, that's why I said that first you need to look at the samples and check whether how you can extract data.
Yes.
So in this situation, I would suggest, like, what if you like look at the health challenges you face with a sort of a, I would say, crowded schedule in terms of the human factorial side. Like, what is the impact of scheduling towards the emotional well-being of the aircraft technician? So in that way, you might be able to make a qualitative study. That's exactly what I said. In most of the organizations, the access to data is very difficult. So in that
Yes.
aspect, what you can do is, it's a problem that you are facing, and it is, I think, an international problem. So you would
Yes.
do a quantitative study focusing on several aspects. For example, how would it affect your mental health? How would it affect your physical well-being? And how would it affect your emotional well-being? Likewise, and then you do a qualitative study through a questionnaire. So you can post questions to after identifying the problem in detail. You can post question to an audience, a large audience, through a Google form, and get their views, like in the sense how many are satisfied with, how many are dissatisfied with, how many are satisfied with which aspect of it, and how many are dissatisfied with the other aspects of it. In the meantime, like what are their solutions. They might also have certain suggestions. So what are their suggestions? And then overall, when you take things together, you might be able to adopt a sort of a holistic plan in order to make a balance, like in order to cater the requirement of the employer as well as to enhance the well-being of the employee.
Yes. So
You get
basically, just focusing on the health aspect only, right?
not only the
Otherwise, yes.
not only the health aspect, I would say it's the impact of scheduling. We call stack scheduling. This is a stack scheduling problem. Impact of stack scheduling on the emotional, mental and physical well-being of the employees, and probable ways to optimize the scheduling without hampering the organizational goals.
Okay. Okay. All right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that will be straightforward, because otherwise, like if you have a conversation, it um, sort of diverts to other topics as well, like for an interview or something. So
Yes,
I guess,
I
yeah.
think in your capacity it will be a bit challenging to get
Yes.
interviewed with the top management, and then without which it will not be a feasible thing. But in this research, what you can say is it is a common problem faced by ourselves and also the people who are involved in aviation in the other sectors as well. So we do take this as a case study and do a case study analysis on this one and try to work out a solution which is feasible for both parties while optimizing the productivity from the employer side and the well-being from the employee side. How you can merge these two and go to a better situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Hope it is feasible for you.
Yes, it is actually, because previously it was sort of going nowhere with the
So you need
while
to
I was speaking.
revise the topic. You need to revise your research questions and objectives accordingly. And if required, you can discuss with your previous supervisor as well and highlight the concerns that you have right at hand right now. And then move on a direction where you will do a qualitative and quantitative hybrid. And if you get a large sample size, then you might be able to do some statistical analysis as well, which would add more rigor to your research.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think you should concentrate on a larger sample size, which would be feasible for you because you can even get some, input from Sri Lankan airline friends as well.
Yes, yes, definitely, because it has a different shift pattern. So the
And
input
once you
is
have,
different.
you can do a sort of a comparative analysis as well.
Yes, yes,
That would add more depth to your research.
yes, yes. That
Okay.
would be, yes. Thank you very much.
So what you should do is take case study A as Etihad, case study B as Sri Lankan, and then formulate a similar set of questions and post them to the audience in a similar manner, and evaluate the pros and cons and their different views and the deviations, and then identify whether case A is more productive, case B is more productive, or else the amalgamation of both of them would be more productive to a more meaningful manner. So likewise, I think you'll be able to project some valuable points at the end of your research.
Yes, I hope so, sir. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, Shirat. Oh, Shirat, we missed him again. So in the meantime, once you're working on that, if you need additional assistance, let me know. So we will plan for a shorter, discussion even before the next progression meeting. But I think we need to start working a little bit faster because now you need to do your introduction a little bit again and also revise the questions and the objectives, and because we are diverting to a sort of a newer dimension.
Yes, yes. May I know how am I to contact you in this case if I have any problems?
I think you can inform the research coordinator. I might even additional session in the evening. This evening hours I'm a little bit free. So, but first thing now, sit back and then work out the way that you are going to do this one. Because, for example, if you can have a significant sample from Sri Lankan and a good sample from ATR and from another organization which has a sort of a different shift schedule. So then
Yes.
you are doing comparative analysis of the impact of this shift scheduling towards the emotional and physical well-being of aircraft technicians. So that would be your research topic.
Okay.
Would be a valid topic.
Yes. Yes.
In a
All right.
hybrid.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Yes, Kirat. Are we good now? Still, we do have the process. I don't know. Nadili, do you hear him clearly?
No, not exactly. It's breaking. Line is breaking.
Yeah, Kirat, go ahead.
Yeah, I have few questions.
Yeah.
I mean, is it okay to deviate from the research proposal to focus the research on economic factors or organizational factors, as you mentioned? So, because
Would you
have,
mind giving me your topic?
yeah.
What is your topic?
It's what do you call it? Employee retention. It's about the employee retention or factors in the airline industry. Yeah.
Employee retention in the airline industry. Okay. 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 Now, what's your concern?
Fine. Yeah. Yes, you suggested that to focus on economic factors or organizational factors only on one thing, because I have mentioned in my research proposal 5 variables, like impact of compensation on employee retention, promotion opportunities and career development, job security and its role, influence of age and generational differences, evidence-based retention strategy. So rather than going in a wide scale, you asked me to focus on like economic factors or organizational factors, narrow it down. So is it okay to do like that, even though my proposal says?
My end, I don't have any objection. But if you want to double check it, you can discuss with your previous supervisor who, approved your research proposal. But as your primary supervisor, I'm okay with it. And also, Chirag, there are two sides of it. Like now, it depends on how you can go into the depth of this research. That is my concern. For example, like if you do a focus study, we say on the economic side of this research, you'll have to dig deep into that, and you should be able to get a statistical analysis on that in a detailed manner. For example, economic side in terms of different types of remuneration, different types of compensations, different types of shift overtiming, all these things you should be able to get access to those data. Okay. And on the other hand, if you are going on the broad aspect, then touching those aspects in a sort of a mediocre manner would do, because it will be on the promotion basis, it will be on the economic basis, it will be on the organizational basis, it could be on the demographic basis, all this. So it's you who should take the decision based on your access to data, level of access to data. Either you are going on a broader scale, either you are going on a deeper scale on one identified area. From a research perspective, more value would be in a research where you do a detailed analysis on a focused area. But if you cannot get access to all the information there, at the end of the day, you'll end up in a half-baked cake. So therefore, it all depends on your access. Do you get my point?
Okay. Yes. Whatever I can find.
Yes.
So it should be it should be more detailed, right?
Now, for example, we say that your targeted sample size is 40. That 40 is basically people who are not known to you. so that you will be posting a question here through Google form or email or whatever. So will they be, I mean, sharing their in-depth information about their economical compensations, their salary scales, their OT and all these things with you to do a detailed analysis? Or else would you be only able to get some surface data from a majority of respondents so that you can do a sort of a surface analysis on the situation? So that's where it matters.
Okay.
If you are going into a detailed focus area, you need more depth in that area, because you cannot say, okay, it's because of salary and it's because of the OT. No. Then why OT and how these differentiations are there, and what are the different remuneration packages with them, and their shift schedules. Likewise, all these things matter. Do you get my point?
Yes, and I want to add something because now last time you asked me to focus more on, I mean, it would be better focus more on Middle East side. So, but if I go for Middle East, I mean, like Etihad employees, so will they share the truth? I mean, like, because it's here, the culture is different, right? On Sri Lankan, everyone will respond, of course. Now, when
That's what I
it comes
told,
to salary, yeah.
Yeah, but I think what you can do is, okay, now I don't think even in Sri Lankan context, they will share these sensitive information. So what you can do is, rather than concentrating on the amount, you can concentrate on their level of satisfaction. You get my point? Not that
Yes,
ask
yes.
how much you paid per month or what will be your OT amount. No. So that's why when you are making the question here, you need to be a little bit mindful. Okay, if anyone asks me what's my total compensation or like total package, I will just laugh at him. But if he just do a sort of a tricky discussion with me, and then okay, ask, okay, compared to the people in the world who are in the same situation as you, what would you think you are? Then I would say, okay, I'm happy. Then they would ask me, okay, are you happy from your job satisfaction perspective, or are you happy from your remuneration perspective? I would rather say, okay, I'm happy related to my remuneration perspective, but not from the job satisfaction compared to what I was doing in other countries. So do you get my point? So likewise, they have to
Yes,
tricky get that down so that it will not harm their identity. Meanwhile, it will derive the results that we need.
yes. Actually, I made few questions. So it was like, how satisfied are you with your current salary, and how competitive is it compared to industry level, as you think? Yeah.
Other unprescribed restriction like this. First, you would start with, okay, what prompted you to move to Etihad from your previous occupation? Then you give options, if it's package, salary, relocation, or something like that. So then from there, you get the main point. And then you would ask the question, okay, are you satisfied with the current salary compared to previous? Yes. And then are you satisfied with the work-life balance compared to the previous one? So then you derive something like that. And then if so, if you are satisfied, okay. If not, state why. So likewise, in making a question here, we can do it in 100 of ways. When you have a senior researcher doing a question here, this question is something which penetrates the audience in a way that we also don't know what's happening to us. So likewise, you take him on a course without knowing that he will base. It's like these presenters. You see, now these days there's a big hahu going on Al Jazeera this week. So that's why they are paid in millions. So whenever they sit with a certain celebrity or a person, they know how to extract things in a way that nobody would do otherwise. Do you get my point? So if
Yes,
I were to, I would start with a question. Okay, where did you? Is this your first job? Yes or no? Mostly it's no. Okay, then what prompted you to move to this job from your previous job? Okay, you give this. Okay, then you identify it as salary or package or whatever. Very rarely they will say it's about job satisfaction or all this. If it's salary or if it's the remuneration, what type of remuneration you are getting? Is it only the salary, or you get overtime, all these things? Then you identify, okay, these are the segments of it, because he will not directly tell you. And then you would say, okay, when you are comparing with your previous, which are higher, which are lower. So likewise, you do it in a very mindful manner, and there's a gradual sequence to it, so that once you derive the information in a statistical manner, it gives a clear picture even without asking the direct question.
Direct question. Yes. Okay, I got it.
So that will be applicable for any audience, for Sri Lankan or Middle East audience, because in any industry, if you ask a direct question, what's your salary? Out of that, I mean, how much tax is being cut out, all these things, then what happens? People won't say. That's basically a violation of their, I mean, integrity. But always what we need is not the value, it's the satisfaction. Then you take a sample of 100 people, you say, okay, 60% of them, for example, chose this job because of their remuneration. Okay, that gives a clear indication that in our country, they don't have the financial capacity to retain skilled workers because of the financial constraints. Okay, one done. And then it says, okay, even though the remuneration remains similar, here they are not satisfied with the work-life balance. Okay, and then there's a problem here. Even though they come from there to here, there's a problem. And then you look at, okay, what's the problem? It might be the over workload. Likewise, then you just look at the organizational point of view, and then you check, okay, whether those things are at least compensated financially in this domain. Then you will see there are a lot of gaps. Okay.
Okay, and
did I answer
last time you yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, just do I have to write in the research itself that because last time you asked me to I can talk to managers to find the real problems, why retention is so hard, and why employees are leaving, and get their perspective, and from that also I can make questions and have understanding, because I'm going for a total quantitative study. So do I have to write that in the research?
Yes. I would rather say this is a hybrid research where you do a qualitative, quantitative, merge. Okay. So in this report, you don't have to mention any name. I don't want you to even mention Etihad. You are researching about one of the significant aviation industry leaders. That's it. You are not going, because otherwise there will be issues on intellectual property. Okay. So then you will say that from that institution, I have selected some selected set of top management representatives to identify the in-depth of this problem from an organizational perspective. So using them, what I have done was I have funneled down my research to an area where I'm working right now. And these are the questions posed to them, and these were the, the answers given. So that serves as the basis for the identification of the area to focus. You get my point? So there is a nice flow in your research. Nobody can just say, because otherwise they will ask, okay, how does Chirag knows all these things? Because you are also an employee there. No, I'm not the one who's saying. So I got this response from the industry and also from the previous research. So one tributary of your question here comes from the industry feedback, and the next tributary comes from the literature review. So then once put them together, that's what gives the basis for you to identify the problem as it is.
Okay.
So in that you are not going to mention Mr. So and so. You will say, okay, Mr. A, B, C, D, or whatever. Yeah. So we are not going to disclose the information, because that will be sometimes a burden for your job.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and the other thing is, if would it be better, to focus on economic and organizational factors in the research, and if I'm doing the both, do I need to focus and analyze the relationship between economic and organizational factors? Because when I did the initial research, I found that the relationship between economic and organizational factors is like interdependent.
Yeah.
Like economic factors mainly attract and retain employees initially, and the organizational factors sustain long-term commitment. So, likewise, do I need to go in that path?
That's exactly what I was telling. Nadini also, I didn't expose the reason, because when you get multiple, variables, because in a research, you have one dependent variable and independent variables. Like, so we are always looking at the relationship of these variables. Okay. So what is independent variable and what are the dependent variables? So therefore, always we need to do a analysis between the relationship of these. So if you are taking multiple dependent variables, okay, and with multiple independent variables, then you need to do a correlation analysis among all of them. It should make your life a little bit complicated, but it will be a very nice research. So that depends on how well you are conversant with your statistical analysis and how well you are conversant with formulation of the problem. But actually, when you take all these, stimulants, for example, if you look at economical reasons, organizational reasons, demographical reasons, in a realistic manner, these all are correlated and these are interconnected. So you cannot take one and do an analysis. So that's why if you take one, then you are free from this trouble. You say there are multiple things, out of which I'm taking one and then I'm doing an analysis on that. I'm evaluating which factors are affecting towards this individual factor. Do you get my point? But if you focus on two or more factors, then you will have to see, okay, what factors are affecting on factor 1 and factor 2, and what factors are affecting on the interrelation and interdependency between factor 1 and factor
2. Okay. It means like, let's say, high pay and plus poor work environment, it goes to high turnover. Low pay and still positive work environment, it will be in a moderate way. Competitive pay and strong organizational support, it would be high retention, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yes. So if you are taking multiple, main variables, then you need to look at the interrelation and correlation of both of them as well.
Okay.
But it's doable. It's doable. Only thing is that you need to have some sort of a idea.
Yeah. Okay. Because for the research proposal also, I did it that way. And you said that the job security, last time you talked that job security compensation are qualitative words, and I need to be more specific. And is there a way to make these questions quantitative as well?
Yeah. Simply you use a linkage scale. That's called a linkage scale. For example, now I would ask, okay, how satisfied you are with your job right now? You say, okay, I'm satisfied. But if I ask, okay, indicate your satisfaction in a scale of 1 to 10, then you will say, okay, 0 means you are not satisfied at all, 9 means you are fully satisfied at all, or something in between. You can give a demarcation. So that we call as a linkage scale. So through a linkage scale, normally we can convert the qualitative response into a sort of a quantitative response.
Okay. Yeah, I check that. Yeah. Okay.
You get my point. Have you seen those questions in the question?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Even when you fly a Etihad, before you get out, they just give you a questionnaire, how satisfied you are in a scale of 1 to 5. So then we just give our happiness and all these things, and depending on that, they give the feedback onto different aspects of the service.
Okay. And when we analyze them, is there a like special tool like we can use Microsoft Excel for that, right? Or
Excel is the simplest. There are many statistical analysis tools.
Because I found out the SPSS and Excel are the two that I was.
Okay, SPSS is one, because there are different statistics. Like in statistics, you do descriptive statistics, you do time series analysis, and you do regression analysis, and then you do correlation and causation analysis, hypothesis testing, and also you do cluster analysis. There are many things. So depending on that, you need to select which type of a method that you are using, because if you are using Excel, it's sort of a limited one. But if you use like MOS and also like SPSS, it has more characteristics. So likewise, you can use
Yeah. So, but if I'm going for a software like that, so I
Simpler,
need expertise.
yeah, simpler analysis, advanced level of Excel, or sort of a mediocre level of SPSS would be fine.
So, like, I mean, like, do if I want, can I give my data to someone and do the analysis with expert, or do I have to do that myself?
As this session is recorded, I cannot respond to you
All
because
right.
that
Okay. Okay.
be a violation of the research ethics. So that you can discuss with your, initial supervisor. But from my end, what as the supervisor, I'm concerned about, have you identified the correct variables, and then have you done a relatively okay analysis on a statistical platform? That's it. And
Okay.
if you can defend yourself, that's it.
All right. Yeah, those are the questions actually I had in
Those
mind.
are the normal questions that come to any person who's in your mid-level of research. So that's quite normal. Okay, that's okay.
Okay.
But I hope I answered your questions. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah, you answered everything. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Natasha, do we have anyone else? I hope Nadili and Chirat, I answered your questions. Huh?
Yes. Yes.
So we'll meet
Yes,
up.
thank you.
Yeah, we'll meet up again on the stipulated date. And even if you need additional assistance, I might be able to entertain you all 1 or 2 times. So please speak to Natasha, and then we'll have a quick session even in a night. No problem.
Thank you very much for that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay, if we don't have anyone else, shall we wind up this session, Natasha? Okay, you all can log out. No problem. No problem. I will wait
All
for a
right.
while to check whether there are any more. If not, I'll also log out.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for helping. Thank you.
Thank you again, sir.
Okay, no worries.